Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. I am Regina Williams, the RW of Rethinking Weight and the Barefoot Violinist. I am so excited for you to be here today with Rethinking Weight, which is all about healing your body, healing your mind, healing everything that you need, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally. It doesn't make a difference. We are here to help you find solutions for what you may be going through. And so today I'm so excited that I have my dear friend with me. So let me introduce her so we can get started because we got some good stuff for you today.
Let's
So, the
begin.
voice of Dr. Ruby E. Powell has been heard as a corporate trainer, motivational and inspirational public speaker, a professional development empowerment coach, counselor, and consultant, as well as a ministry leader and teacher. She uses her gifts for coaching, counseling, and consulting to motivate and encourage life change in people, both naturally and spiritually. Dr. Powell is the executive director of Dr. Ruby E. Powell and Associates LLC, the founder and chief executive officer of the Oasis Empowerment Zone, Inc., and the director of operations for the Lansing Performing Arts Center, Incorporated, which is a nonprofit organization. She is the author of the book, It's All His Fault, It's All Her Fault: The Blame Game the Right Way, along with her husband. She is also the author of two books that are in pre-publication. I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. The status entitled Girl, Fix Your Pearls and Patiently Enduring Faith. Dr. Powell has dedicated more than 35 years of her life to serving the needs of children and families plagued by abuse, neglect, mental illness, substance abuse, sexual abuse, and domestic violence. On a personal note, Dr. Powell is married to my dear friend, to Pastor Tony Powell, a minister, professional singer, actor, and an amazing vocal coach. She is the proud mother of four incredible, amazing children that I call my nieces and my nephews.
Yep.
And Tony Powell and Dr. Ruby serve as ordained pastors with Heart Life Ministries. Now, let me just pause right there. If you do not know about Heart Life Ministries, you need to look them up, and I will definitely have the information in the description. It is all about helping marriages to heal, counseling,
Yeah.
which is what Dr. Ruby and Pastor Tony do. They actually serve as the marriage and family counselors for Heart Life Ministries. Dr. Powell holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminal justice, pre-law from the University of Illinois, Chicago, a Master's of Science degree in psychology, community counseling, and guidance from Chicago State University. And last but certainly not least, a doctoral degree in educational leadership, curriculum, and instructional design from the School of Advanced Studies at the University of Phoenix. Woo! Girl, 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 you done some stuff here.
I'm a professional student. I am a lover of learning.
Ruby, welcome, welcome, welcome to the podcast. I'm
Mhm.
so glad to have you here with us today in the studio.
Thank you.
So let's jump into it because we got right? So
hmm
you've done so much, you've helped so many people. Um, but where's your real heart in all this that you've learned and done?
My real heart, I have two real loves.
Mm-hmm.
I have a love for single mothers, having been one for about 10 years. That's where the Oasis Empowerment Zone originated. And then I also have a love for seeing marriages thrive and
Mm.
grow. And so those are my two loves. If I have to do anything professionally, it's in those two arenas. I do also work a lot with executive professional women who are often stuck
Mhm.
Some of them feel like they're stuck in their careers. They know that there's more to them, but they can't go any further. And then that's when Dr. Ruby E. Powell and Associates come in, coaching, counseling, and consulting.
Oh my goodness. That's right. That's right. You got
Yes.
a step one, step two, step three.
Yes,
Heart Life
indeed.
Ministry, step four.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. So, while we're talking about Heart Life Ministries, go ahead and tell us a little bit about it and what you do with them and how it has been so empowering for couples.
Yes. My husband and I have been affiliated with Heart Life Ministries for probably about 10 or 12 years now. And it's full moment of transparency. We came to church one day and it was almost like a ghost town. And what we realized is that all of the married couples were away at a getaway. And so when we found out where they were at Heart Life Ministries marriage getaway. And so we were like, how do we get involved in this? Because this sounds like amazing. When I tell you, there were so many people who were at this marriage getaway that the very next year we went to the marriage getaway and knew that we were going to have to get involved. And
Mhm.
so it has been transformational. It has been life changing. And Heart Life Ministries is an organization that was started by Dr. Alice Maria Crawford almost 30 years ago. And it was for the purpose of not just marriages, but for families, because so many families were falling apart,
Yeah.
primarily because marriages were falling apart. And she wanted to bring everybody back together. And so she said, one of her mottos is, if you feed them, they'll come. And so
Mhm.
she started hosting Sunday dinners, and it was for the purpose of actually bringing her children back home, and they
Mhm.
would bring their friends and their friends, and it just grew from there. And so the marriage getaway itself is celebrating 27 years this year. And so
Wow.
Heart Life Ministries is in excess of 30 plus years. And
That's
so approximately 5 years ago, we were asked by the executive directors, Pastor Wes and Nisha Stringfellow, if we would come alongside, if we would become ordained ministers with the organization to help them to steward marriages and families. And so we have done just that.
how awesome is that? Oh my gosh. So, okay, because this connects, right?
Mhm.
This book, I'm gonna do it this way because this is how we always feel. It's all
Yes.
his fault.
His, yes. Yes. Yes.
But we got to look in the mirror
That's right.
because it's all her fault. Did y'all
That's
like that? See, I
yes.
just flipped it. Bam.
Yes.
Okay.
And my
So
running joke is, if you buy my book, you get his free.
it is,
But
you
to
get
buy
his,
one, get one.
it's a twofer.
It's a two. Yes.
I love it. I love it. So this title is so bold. It's all his fault. It's all her fault. What made you choose this title, and what does it mean? The blame game the right way.
Yeah, you know what? Good question. Actually, I can't take any credit for that title. My husband came to me one day and said, I've got a concept. And I was like, okay, what is it? We're going to write a book. I said, okay, let's do it. And so when he told me the idea, when he told me it's all his fault, it's all her fault, and I said, well, no, he actually said it's all her fault, it's all his fault. And I said,
No.
okay. He said, but the blame game the right way. And we're going to tell our story about how, in as we were going through life and as we were living through our marriage vows, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, till
Mhm.
death do us part, all of
Mhm.
the things that we encountered, and how we could have blamed each other for a whole lot of those things that we encountered as a couple. But we realized that we were better together, and that we were better when we can come together and make sure that we were both good in whatever space we were in. And so instead of fighting each other, we turned our backs to each other and fought the enemy. And
Mm.
so that's where the
Yeah.
blame game the right way comes in,
Mm.
because yes, there's still things after all of these years of marriage that we can blame each other for. But we believe in having good, hard, honest conversation. And so that's what helps to keep us strong.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
so he designed the idea of the book, he designed the flip book. He
Okay.
also designed all of the chapters. He gave me the chapters and said, "This is what we're writing about." And I said,
Oh,
"Okay." And we did.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you talk about how upbringing and the examples of marriage that we witnessed that shape unhealthy thoughts and behaviors. How did that show up in your own marriage?
Oh my God. Both my husband and I, my husband is 5 years older than I am, and both of our parents separated and divorced after having been together many, many years. And my parents had been together 19 and a half years, and we had what a lot of people would consider a leave it to beaver type family. And so, what that really meant for us was that we did things together, we went places together, and to the outside world we looked like the perfect little family,
Mm-hmm.
until one day my mom came home and said, "Your dad and I are getting a divorce."
Oh,
And when I tell you, it was a
oh.
crusher. It crushed us. I was 13 years old, and those were the most formative years of my life. And when my parents said, you know, we're not going to do this anymore, my mother had started dating someone else.
Mm,
And, it really, and no, and I repeat this repeatedly in the book: no blame, no shame. It's just our
mm-hmm,
story. It's
mm-hmm,
just what happened. And so, we went through that process, and it took, and honestly speaking, it took me until, how they say, I was today years old when it's still taking me years to
yeah,
heal. And
yeah.
I'm 63, so 50 years I've been going
Mm-hmm,
through different journeys of healing. And a lot of this have formed the work that we have done. Well, my husband had a similar story. His parents, his father was, the man of the hour. And so he had repeated affairs. And before they knew it, his parents were separated and divorced. And
mm-hmm,
they decided that, my mother decided that she was going to leave, and she left all the children with my father. Well,
oh,
his was just the opposite. His father left,
mm-hmm.
and he and his two sisters stayed with his mother. And so
Okay.
that created its own types of funny dynamics, if you will. Not funny as in humorous, but
Mm-hmm,
funny as in uncomfortable
mm-hmm,
dynamics among the family. And so from that, both he and I made decisions that, for me, I said divorce is never going to be an option for me. And
mm-hmm,
so as a result, I didn't marry for the only time until I was 40 years old. And that was after having been out of relationship and had made the decision that I was going to live single and celibate. And that, before my husband, that was a period of 10 years that I was by myself, doing what the Bible says that single women are to do, and that's to turn our face towards the Lord. My
yeah.
husband, on the other hand, had been married twice and
Okay.
divorced. And so that again was another dynamic, because
Yeah.
he had experiences that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And so after some really, really, really good, solid premarital counseling, we decided that it was going to be a go.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's some good stuff right there.
If you
Okay.
want to know the whole story, you got to buy the book.
Buy the book. Buy the book.
Yes. It is on Amazon, and it is also on our website, the blame game book.us, or the
There
blame
you go.
game.us.
There you go. And I'll have all that in the description as well. Um, What was the turning point when you realized blame had to become something healthier than accusations?
Ooh. The turning point was, um, as I said, I got married at 40. I had three children after the age of 40. So here
Okay.
I was with a
Wow.
preteen daughter, yes, because we got married when my daughter, our daughter now, but when my daughter was 10 years old, she was about to turn 11. And so the Lord had promised my husband children. So when our first daughter together was born, I said, okay, he said, the Lord promised him, he said two sons. And I said, well, maybe he promised him two children. So after our first one was born, I was 41 years old, almost 42, and I said, "Okay, I could do that. That's good." Well, he said, "No, the Lord promised me two sons." I said, "Okay, Lord, if you promised him two sons, if this is your will, I'm here for it." And needless to say, in 4 years, I had three children. My youngest son, who's now 18, was born when I was 45 years old.
Mm-mm.
And it was a blessing. And I knew it was something that God had ordained because I had seamless pregnancies. I had no problems. I worked all the way up to my due date with
Wow.
actually all four of my pregnancies, including with my oldest daughter. And I had no issues, no morning sickness, no none of that stuff. And so that's why I knew that it was God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So the turning point for us, it was when my husband started working longer hours. I was working at a high level administrative job with the state of Illinois, as
Okay.
well as in school full time, working on my doctorate degree.
Mm-hmm.
And, he started working longer hours because he's always been a business owner. And I had the responsibility of working full time, taking care of the children, going to school, and doing all of this stuff. Until one day I said to him, I need your help. I really need your help. And he said to me, um, I didn't think you needed my help because you're managing things so well. So his idea was that I didn't need him because I was doing what women do. We handle stuff. We juggle the balls. We keep the plate spinning in the air. But what I
Okay.
didn't realize is that I wasn't honoring him in the kingship that he held in our household. And so that was the turning point. I never blamed him. I never said, hey, you're not doing this, that, or the other. I just said, I need your help. And so that was the beginning of a turning point for us.
Wow. Mm, that's good. Okay. So y'all got to get this book. It's got some really, I mean, I'm not going to say nuggets because no, these are boulders. It's boulders. So I'm not married yet. I am in premarital counseling, um, which is ooh mm,
Ooh, yes,
yeah, because it brings out a whole lot of
it
yeah,
does,
and
as
it
it
ain't
should.
just in him. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. I gotta look in the mirror. Yes. So, but one of these big nuggets I'll say that's in this book is I want you to walk us through the 4B principles. The be
Yes.
prayerful, be patient.
Be proactive and be permanent.
I'm stuck on be
Yes,
patient. I'm
I
stuck
know.
on be patient.
I'm gonna talk about that a little
I
bit.
don't like that word. That's a cuss word.
It
It's what
is.
we call a blurple word. It's the worst word, that
Yeah.
patience. And be
Yes.
proactive and be permanent, right? So
Yes.
let's talk about these 4Bs.
Be patient is couched between prayer and proactivity for a
Mm,
reason. So, our prayer life, my husband and I have a very strong prayer life, individually and together. And during those years where things were very tenuous and things were a little bit tough, we never got to a place where we were just out and out. You know how they say, "Oh, the first year is the hardest year." Well, for us, it didn't come along until maybe about 5 or 6 years in,
okay.
and we we had started having those conflicts, and that
Yeah.
was even before I said to him, I need your help. But one day he was driving me to work. I was working all the way on the north side at the time, and we lived in the south suburbs. And typically I would take the train to work. And so I thought he was taking me to the train station. My older daughter was driving and had a car by then. And so she would typically take me. But he got on the expressway and I said, "Where are you going?" And it was after some intense fellowship where we were in a little bit of a disagreement, and you know how women are when things ain't going right, we don't want to talk about it.
You gonna find a cliff?
We don't want to
Jump
talk.
out the car.
We want to process until we can talk about it. And
Right.
so I was in one of those quiet, pensive, thought-provoking moods. And so as we're driving down the expressway, he said to me, "How can I pray for you today?"
Mm.
Y'all know I
Wow.
didn't want him to pray for me, right? I didn't want him to talk to me. I didn't want him to say nothing. I was really a little irritated
It's
that he
all
was
your
taking me
fault.
to work. It's all in the book, y'all. It's all in the book. And he said, "How can I pray for you today?" And honestly, I said to him, "You can pray that I get over this anger," because I
Mm.
was angry with him at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started praying for me. And, my spirit really said, "Now you need to ask him how to pray for you." But y'all know I didn't do it, right? So we went through for about a week of him driving me to work. And finally, about the third day, I asked him, "How can I pray for you?" Now, it wasn't that I was mad for that long,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not that person that holds grudges. I don't hold on to anger. It causes too many problems in your body when you walk in unforgiveness. And so I had let it go, and we had resolved the issue that brought us into that disagreement that morning anyway. But that third morning, I asked him, "How can I pray for you?" And
Mm.
so this is what really started us praying together. And so now, we've been married for 23 years. As of May 31st, we made 23
Yay.
years of marriage. Yes. And every
It's
morning, at least Monday through Friday, at very minimal, we do
okay.
a devotion together and we
Okay.
pray together. And that is the catalyst that have turned our marriage into something phenomenal.
Mm.
And those are the spaces where we can talk about anything that may be disturbing us, anything that may be, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with anything in our marriage per se, but if there are things in our marriage that are kind of concerning, we can talk about those things during that time. Because at that time, during that time, and all the time really, but we honor the presence of God. We honor the fact that we are in communion with God. And anything that we say, anything that we do, any ways that we act, we know that we're accountable to Him.
Mm-hmm.
And so be prayerful
Mm.
is an important that is the first dynamic in a marriage, is that you're praying for yourselves, you're praying for each other. I need my husband to know how I'm praying for him. I need to know how he's praying for me. We have our own personal prayer time, which,
Mm.
is dynamic in and of itself, but we
Very
also
important.
have a dynamic prayer time together where we can talk about anything. We can pray about anything. There are times when people will come to our mind, or we know that someone is having a challenging situation, and we take the time together to pray for them. And so that's the first principle of the 4B principle. These are the principles that have revolutionized our marriage. The second one is that curse word that Regina was just talking about. Be patient. Now, if there was any one of the 4B
Mm.
principles that was a sticking point for me, it was be patient.
Mm.
I'm that person that likes it to happen. I like it to happen now. I like it to happen at one point in my life. I liked it to happen the way I wanted it to happen because I thought that my way was the right way. But I also had to recognize, and this is something I say all the time, to married couples, and I say it to parents as well. Both of you all walked into that relationship with two different sets of DNA.
Mhm.
And just like there are, 8 billion people on the earth, there are no two people with the same fingerprint.
That's right.
And which means that they're going to come in with their opinions, they're going to come in with their behaviors, they're going to come in with all of the stuff, some that we did not expect. And this is something that as I said, this is a healing journey. Something that I've really been working on, even in the last 3 months or so, is meeting people right where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so in marriage, you have to meet that person that God sent to you, that women, that man that found you, and men, the women who got the woman who God sent you to. You have to recognize that they're coming in with their own stuff. And we have to be patient and recognize that what God joined together, no man can put asunder, not even each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So that P word. Okay. So let's go a little bit further with that P word. So
Mhm.
when you say be patient, how can a spouse wait while the other person grows without losing themselves in the process?
Well, you know what? Honestly, both spouses are growing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
They may not be growing in the same way, they may not be growing in the same thing, but they
Mm-hmm.
should be striving to both grow, because there are things that, again, we bring into relationships. You know, my husband brought into the relationship the fact that he had been married twice. So there's baggage that comes along with that. I used to have a running joke that he brought a footlocker. It wasn't just baggage. He brought a footlocker into the relationship.
Uh-huh.
But then I brought stuff too, because I
Yeah.
had had a child out of wedlock, even though I was a church girl, been in church all my life.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point in my life, I was living a double life. I was living a church girl life, and then I wanted to have my, one foot in the church and the other one on a banana peel. And so,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? As the youth leader, youth minister, and all of that in the church that I was in, I got
Uh,
caught up.
yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
a turning point for my life. So I brought that into the marriage.
Yeah.
I brought in guilt. I brought in shame. I brought in all of those things that I thought even that I had worked through in
Mm-hmm.
those 10 years that I was by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I recognized that there was still some residue
Okay.
that I needed to deal with. And
Deal
so
with.
recognizing that we may not be growing or working on the same things, but we should both be growing, and we should both be working on those things that are hindrances to
Mm-hmm.
us. And that's where that patience come in.
Mm.
That's where the patience come in, because there will be times when things get hard and you
Yeah.
want to go, but then wisdom say,
Yeah. Yeah.
bite down on your tongue
Yeah.
until that urge to react goes away, until
Mm-hmm.
you can respond and not react. And without going into a lot of detail, y'all got to read the book to get the detail. The majority of the stuff that my husband brought into the relationship actually helped to strengthen my prayer life,
Mm.
because instead of fussing at him and blaming him and pointing the fingers at him, I had to talk to God. And I
Mm-hmm.
had to ask God, God, you got to help me so that I can help him.
Yeah.
And so that's what I stood on. My relationship with God got stronger. I was able to get my marching orders. I was able to get my instructions on how to be the best wife that I could be in that relationship.
Mm. Yeah. Being
So that's
patient.
where patience come in.
Being patient. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
that's
being
where
patient with
patience come in.
yourself in the whole process as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
The next word is permanent.
Proactive is the third word.
Yes,
Be
but
proactive. proactive.
Be proactive, but I want to talk
Yes,
about being permanent because
permanent. Yes.
so many people feel that when they jump into this marriage, it's they already have it in their mind. Well, if it don't work, I can just walk away.
How many times have I heard that?
I can just walk away, and being permanent is powerful.
Hmm.
So, how do you talk about commitment while being sensitive to people in unhealthy or unsafe relationships?
Yes, that's really, really a good question. Now, let me be very,
Because in
very
their
clear.
mind, they're like, "Look, it's it's flee. It's time to exit stage left
Right.
or left,
Well, um, right.
not left."
Um, Now, let me just say this. As a person who have worked with families that have been plagued by all types of
Mhm,
abuse, abuse of children, abuse, domestic violence, sexual abuse,
mhm,
substance misuse, all of those things, and have counseled many, 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 many women and some men who have been in relationships that were destructive, that were dangerous. I never encourage people to stay in a relationship that's harmful, number
okay,
one,
mhm.
because that's we're not intended to be in
That's the
relationships that are
caller for that,
harmful.
right?
If we can't love each other through any type of challenge or difficulty, then there's never a reason why a man should hit a woman or a woman should hit a man, because there's as many men out there that are victims of domestic violence. You just don't hear about them because men don't always report it.
Mm-mm.
But I never encourage people to stay anywhere where they can be physically, mentally, sexually, financially, or emotionally abused,
Mhm.
or a situation where their children can be harmed. Those are deal breakers.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
totally deal breakers. And of course, if you don't know all of the dynamics of domestic violence, I'm just going to give you this one nugget. Don't try to leave without help. And I'm going to drop that right there. If you are a victim of domestic violence, yes, it is important that you get out of that relationship, but don't try to do it alone because it
Mhm.
can be dangerous.
Mhm. Very dangerous. We've seen the
So,
movies.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. The average domestic violence victim leaves 7 times before they either make it out safely
Wow.
or they're killed in that
Wow.
relationship.
Wow.
And
Wow. Wow.
so,
Wow.
I don't mean to drop that heavy stuff on
No,
there,
no, no,
but it
no. But
leads
it's
us
real.
right back
It's
to being
real.
permanent. That's
Yeah.
real talk.
It's real
Because
talk.
you hear different, especially in the church world, unfortunately. Girl,
Mhm.
don't worry about, let that man do what he gonna do. You stay there as long
Mhm.
as he's bringing his check home. No. But if he's beating you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if he's abusing you mentally, if you're losing yourself because of how he's treating you, then that is not a safe place. It is not a
Mhm.
healthy relationship.
Mhm. Mhm. And
But
verbal abuse is almost as worse than being physically abused.
it is worse
Mhm.
because physical pains go away,
Mhm.
but verbal and emotional pains have a tendency to reside deep in your soul. And
Yes.
it takes a lot of healing and peeling back the layers and all of those things in order to get back to, wow, where did I lose myself?
Mhm.
And so verbal and emotional abuse are more dangerous than physical abuse
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
in many instances. What we talked about when we talked about being permanent, as I already mentioned, my husband's been married twice. I had never been married before, but I said to him, I didn't get married to get a divorce. I didn't wait 40 years to get married or however many adult years to get married just to end in divorce. So, for better or for worse, for
Mhm.
richer or for poor, in
Mhm.
sickness and in health, till death do us part. And that's the permanent covenant that we made with one another. And we've lived through all of those. We've lived through the for better or for worse. We've lived through losing things, losing a house, losing cars. We've lived through all of that. We've lived through sickness, him being sick and having multiple
Right.
surgeries, and me having to carry the boatload of things. But that was the covenant that we made.
Mm-hmm.
And we've lived through those covenants and we still love each other. We still like each other. We're still best friends
And
despite
even
all.
right, and even in the midst of all that, you're still building memories. You're still
Yes.
building strength
Yes.
that became the glue to hold this thing all together. That's
Absolutely.
that's what the
That
good and the
is the
bad is all
glue.
about. That is the glue. It's the good and the
That
bad,
is the
it's the
glue.
ugly, it's the stanky, it's the funk, it's the everything all wrapped up together. And then, but when you look at it, you still have all the love, and you still have
Yes.
all the great memories, and the children, and the
Yes.
yeah, all that is a part of it. It's not every day is gonna be, sugar and spice and everything's nice and da 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 da. We're in candy land. No, that's not
Yes.
life.
This is
Life
what I
life
tell
be life
people.
then.
Yes. The vows that you make is the life after the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
The wedding is one day, the
Mm-hmm.
marriage is a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So the vows that you make, even when I'm talking to young women who say, "Oh, I just want to get married. I just want to get married. I want to get married." The first thing I ask them is, "Why do you want to get married?
Mm-hmm.
What are you bringing to the table?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to offer in a marriage?"
Right.
Because
Right.
without getting into detail, I get real with them. I get real with them, and I tell them, don't say you want to get married just so stuff can be legal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Because if you've already done it in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
it's already done.
Mm-hmm.
So, you
And it's
know,
not all about sex.
it's not.
There's an
Because
intimate
you know what? Y'all
skill.
gonna get old. If you keep living together, y'all gonna get old. Now, I'm grateful and thankful that we still young in that area. But
Yeah.
guess what? I can't take for granted my husband's 67. He's 68. He'll be
Okay.
69 this year. And I'm
Okay.
63. I can't take for granted that 5 years from now everything gonna still be working. I'm
Right.
believing God that it will be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what happens to the marriage when those things are not happening? When one person gets sick, there was a period of time when my husband was sick
Mm-hmm.
and stuff was on hold.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved him through it.
Yeah.
And it made him more determined to do what he needed to do to get well so that he can be a husband to his wife and he could
Mm-hmm.
be a father to his children.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
those are the things that makes those that 4B principle
Mm-hmm.
valid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we talked about patience. We talked about permanent.
Prayer,
We
permanence.
talked about
Yes.
prayer, proactive.
Yes. Do it before it falls apart. Don't wait until things start getting bad to try to do stuff about to do something about it. I tell people all the time, we've had couples that have come to us for counseling that had horrible marriages, that had divorce papers in hand,
Mm.
literally,
Mm-hmm.
and have turned those things. I mean, literally, one couple tore up the divorce papers in front of us after they had been through a period of counseling.
Oh
There
wow.
was only one couple out of all the couples that we've counseled, there was only one couple that was not successful. And it was because the wife didn't want to change.
Mm-hmm.
She felt that she was right about what she was saying and what she was doing, and it was creating a horrible imbalance in the marriage. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the only couple that we had to say, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't think we can help you all.
Mm-hmm.
We were very upfront and honest, and only to find out that they had been in counseling multiple times with the same results.
Oh,
And
okay.
so being proactive means we had a couple that came to us and they had only been married a couple of years, and the wife was very blunt. She said, "I want us to get counseling before things get bad."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Wow, what does that look like?" She
Mm-hmm.
said, "We have a wonderful marriage now." She said, "But I'm not naive enough to think that there are not going to be times when things are going to be hard." She said, "I want us to get counseling so we'll know what to do when
Right.
things do get hard."
Right.
So that's what being proactive means. Do
Mm-hmm.
it before you need it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like we go to the doctor, we get our annual physicals and all of the stuff. And, if the doctor say, your cholesterol look like it's creeping up, you need to do this with your diet, or you look like you gained about 5 or 10 pounds since your last appointment. Let's talk about that's what being proactive is.
Right.
You
Right.
want to get that cholesterol before it causes your arteries to clog and you have a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Same
Absolutely.
thing with marriage. Do
Yep.
it before you need it.
Be prayerful, be patient, be proactive, and be permanent.
Yes.
Be permanent. So, for the couple listening right now who feel stuck in blame, what is the one step that they can take today?
The one step that they can take today is to make a covenant with each other to forgive. Forgetting those things that are behind. And I know there may be things that were done in the past that still have residue in the present, but forgetting those things which are behind, because the truth of the matter is you can't change them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You deal with the residue. If you're doing laundry and you got a stain on your clothes and you wash them and the stain is still there, it doesn't mean that the garment of laundry is not clean. It just means that it still have a stain on it. You got to do a little bit more to get rid of the stain.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to say, for the couple that feels like they're stuck, that they've got stuff going on, start with forgiveness. And then make sure that you get into counseling so that you can unravel those things with a qualified counselor like the Powells, who know how to help you to walk through those steps of, we've had couples that have had all kinds of issues: infidelity, pornography, all kinds of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
financial gambling. We've had couples that have had all of those types of things, and they had to work through forgiveness. And so that's where you start.
Okay. Any other last words that you'd like to share to that couple that might be listening, or that wife that may be listening that doesn't know what a next step is?
The one thing I want to say to that wife or even that husband, that I want to say, be proactive. If you need help, call me, email me, text me, and I will help you to get to where you need. We're not the counselors for everybody. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the counselor for everybody. And if I feel like I can't help you, I am more than happy to refer you to some of my other cadre of counselors that have different levels of skill than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And they will be more than willing to help you. But don't stay stuck. Do
That's the
not
key.
stay stuck.
That's the key.
Yes.
How can they reach you? And of course, I'm going to have all this in the description, but
Yes.
how do they reach you?
Well, there's a number of different ways to reach me. As Regina already read in my bio, there's 3 different companies that I operate, but the one that I didn't talk about was P&P marriage coaching and counseling. And we can be reached at Tony and Ruby. This is our email address: Tony and Ruby, and spelled out all together, at theblamegame.us. Our phone number is 855 627 4748.
Get the book.
Yes.
This is important.
Theblamegame.us.
Yeah, there you go.
www.theblamegame.us.
It's probably this, or more likely is this.
For us women, it definitely is.
Oh, this has been absolutely fantastic. I thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
I thank
I
you for coming.
appreciate you.
I so appreciate you. We've been trying to get this to come together for a moment, and it has happened. It has happened.
Yes.
So I just want to say, Dr. Ruby Powell, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being in the studio. I so appreciate you. This has been a wealth of information. I want everybody to go get this book. Turn it this way. Go get this book.
I want to get one free.
Get one free. It's a twofer. And I want you to be mighty. This is all about body, mind, movement, truth. BMMT, be mighty. In whatever you're doing, be mighty. Be true to yourself. Understand what might be going on and get the assistance or help or counseling that you need. I want to thank you. I want you to share, like, and subscribe this program to everybody that you know. Rethinking Weight is here to help us women to move forward in life. I love you all. Thank you again, Dr. Ruby.
Yes, love and blessings to you and your wonderful audience.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye for now.